Right. We have worked in this class and we have learned the basic functionality of what really is happening there. Okay, sorry, let me just do this. Now, there are some few things that I want us to look at now. And we have overloaded the constructors and so on. We explained that. Now, in this tutorial, we are going to use what we call the constructor initializers. And these constructor initializers will be important in the following manner. Let's just have a reading so that they explain to us exactly what is happening. Alright, in this employee class, we had 4 constructors. We saw the constructors. Right. We had the first constructor, the second constructor, the third constructor, and the fourth constructor. So we had 4 constructors. They constructed the object for us. That's what a constructor means. You are constructing something for us which is an actual object. Very good. And we saw that each constructor initializes the same 2 fields. This is exactly what we saw. So these constructors, they initialize 2 fields, which is the ID number and salary, ID number and salary, ID number and salary, ID number and salary. So the 4 constructors that we had, they only initialized 2 things. These 2 fields were the ID number and the salary of the individual. But in a fully developed class used by some companies, many more fields will be initialized. This is true, creating a lot of duplicates of code. Of course, it will do that. Besides the original extra work of writing the repetitive statements of these constructors, even more extra work will be required when the class is modified in the future. So now, a constructor initializer is a clause that indicates another instance of a class constructor should be executed before any statements in the current constructor body. We will see that. Now, let's go and create, escape. Let's go inside of this reference and create. Let's just add a new item. And let's call this class employee 1. Right. Inside of employee 1, there are some few things that I want us to do. Now, the very first thing that we will do inside of this class employee 1 is to have some few accessors. So what I will do, it will be public. Accessors are always public because we want to access them outside of the class. They will be public, they will be of type int, and I will still call this the ID number. And because it's an accessor, it will have an auto implemented get and set. Alright, and I will still have the public double, and it will be a salary, and the salary will also have an auto implemented property of get and set. Alright, this is fine. Now let me create a constructor. Now the constructor will always be public. It will have the same name as the name of the class. It will be called employee 1 because that's the name of the class, and it will receive no parameters. But by using these columns now and saying that this keyword, using the this keyword, and what am I doing now? I am initializing the employee class 1 with the value of the ID and the salary. So I'm going to say the one that comes first, it's the ID number. It will be ID number 999, and the second one is the salary, which is 0. So what am I doing here? This is what we call an object initializer. What is it that I am initializing? I am initializing the ID number with a value of 999 and the salary with the values of 0. So remember, we learned about this. We read and they said that a constructor initializer is a clause that indicates another instance of a class constructor that should be executed before any statement in the current constructor body. So this is the body of the constructor. These opening and closing curly braces, it's the body of this constructor. Before anything that is inside here, it will initialize first this constructor object with these values before going inside of the body and doing something. Unfortunately, we are not going to do anything inside of this body. So this was just as we were initializing the employee constructor with those initial values. Okay, that is fine. And then once that has been done, now the second thing, I want to have another constructor. It will be public. It will be an employee 1, and now I will pass in some numbers, so it will accept some arguments. So it will be of type int, and this will be the employee ID. The employee ID. Right, that's fine. I will use an initializer, and I will say that this, and we will say the employee ID. Where is it? Employee ID. The employee ID, and I will pass 0 for the what now? I will pass 0 for the salary. So now when I do this, so it will take the value that I accept as an argument, and then it will initialize that value in my using my initializer via the this keyword. Okay, so let's just go through this and check what is wrong. So employee 1 does not contain a constructor that takes 2 arguments. Employee 1 does not contain a constructor that takes in 2 arguments. Okay. Employee 1 does not contain a constructor that takes in 2 arguments. Okay, that is fine. So let's go to employee, and okay, no, that's fine. That is fine. We will just fix that. Let's just continue with our work. So I will have a third constructor, public, and this will be an employee 1. Right, employee 1, and now this one will receive 2 arguments. The first one, it will be an int, and it will be employee ID, and secondly it will be a double, and that will be the salary. Okay, and I will say the ID number it's equals to the employee ID, and the salary will be equals to the salary of this employee. Now let's have the very last constructor now. Public employee one, and this constructor will accept a character code, and I'm using an initializer this and 111 comma that, and I have nothing inside of the body, and now all the errors are gone. All the errors are gone. We no longer have an error. So remember, this is an initializer. It will assign the values of ID number and salary before it can go inside of the body. Let me read this once again for you. A constructor initializer is a clause. It is indicated by these two columns and the this reference. That indicates another instance of a class constructor should be executed before any statement in the current constructor body. This is exactly what we have saw. Alright. An object initializer allows you to assign values to any accessible members or properties of a class at the time of instantiation without calling a constructor with parameters. So before it can call a constructor with parameters, it will assign the values in the initial in the initializer for us. So it is very important that we understand this. An object initializer allows you to assign values to any accessible members. So it will assign these values if the members are accessible, very important, or to the properties of a class. Now we did not use members, we used properties, the accessors. That's exactly what we have done. So to the members or properties of a class at the time of instantiation without calling a constructor with parameters. Okay, that is fine. And then let us go and see if this will just work. Let's go and see if this will work. So I will go inside of this, and what I will do, I will say employee 1. Okay, I will come and say employee 1. I will come and say employee 1. Right, and I am having some problems here. So let's go to employee 1. This is the employee 1. So the class is internal. That's fine. So when I hover over here, it says cannot implicitly convert the type this reference dot employee to this reference dot employee 1. Okay, that's fine. So what I can do is to say, okay, let me just employee 1, employee 1, employee 1. Employee 1. Right. So what am I doing here? I am creating an object of employee 1, which is a worker. Do I have a constructor in employee 1 that accepts no argument? Let's go and check. Right, here it is. So I am having a constructor that accepts no argument, but I know it will assign these values to the ID number and to the salary. Okay, I have another constructor that accepts an int that will pass that to the value of the employee ID. Where is it? Here it is. And I have the one that accepts a char. Okay, that's fine. So let me print out the values and see exactly what will happen. Control F5. So we have those values. Everything is working fine and we do not have any problem with that. But this is something that I want us to see. Ne? One thing that I would like us to see and to understand is the following. So I want us to go to the employee one class. Okay, we have these constructors, that is fine. I don't have any problem with that. So what I want us to do, inside of this constructor that accepts no argument and assign those values, I want us to do the following. Inside here, what I want us to do there is to say, okay, inside of this constructor, I want us to say, okay, the salary, it's equals to, okay, let's say 99.99 will be the value of the salary, and let's just have a right line. Okay, let me just import something. Let me just say using static system.console. Alright, so inside this constructor that accepts no argument, just want to have a right line statement. I know this is something that will be outputted to the console screen, and all I want to say, or all I want to do, is just to say employee hashtag employee of that number has been created, and just say the salary is, and it will just tell me what the salary is, and then I will take the ID number via a property, and I will take the salary via the property dot to string with some currency symbol attached to that. So I just want to do this only for this constructor that accepts no parameters, so that when I come here, what I can do, okay, let me just comment. Okay, let me just comment all this. Right, let me just comment all that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say employee one, which is a worker, is equals to new employee one, and what I'm going to do here, I'm going to do this, and when I do that, now look what is happening. A double employee one dot salary get insert. So I'm going to say ID number, ID number, and I am going to set the ID number to a value of 101. This is what I'm going to do. So you don't do that. So what allows me to do this? It's an initializer. Before the constructor can be called, it will initialize the ID number with 101. Let's go inside there. Let's go to employee 1. So in this constructor, this one, I know that the ID number is 999, but when I come here, I am initializing the ID number to this value of 101. Okay, can we just have a right line? And in this right line, can we just say employee this? Okay, let me go back here. It's okay. All right, everything is okay. So employee of this number, okay, let me use the hashtag employee this exists, and the salary is, and there is my 1, and I can just have a comma. The salary is that. Let me just have a comma and just say a worker dot ID number, comma, a worker dot salary, and see how things will work out. Let's run this code. Right, let's check. Let's check what has happened here. Employee hashtag 999 created, and the salary it's 99.99. Okay, it comes again. Employee, which one now? This one. Employee 101, because the ID number has been assigned as 101 exists, and the salary it's the same value. So let me show you. Let's go to the employee 1, to this constructor. The salary is this and the value is 999. Let's check. The value it's 999, we have it there, and the salary it's 0, and then I have overridden the value here. I said that the salary is equals to 99.99. there it is, this one. And then now it goes to the main, and then when it is inside of the main, I have created an object. I have a right line statement. In this object that I have created a worker, it says employee of what number. The number it's now 101 exists, and the salary is, and then it will take the very same value because I did not assign a value here. I can come here and just maybe just say okay, let me just use a comma and say salary, and just say the value equals 1,000 rand, and let's run this. And there it is. So I have created an object, and because I have an initializer which initializes the employee ID and the salary, and I can be able to do that. So when I am when I am inside here, when I do this it's an initializer. So the best way of seeing this is coming here. Yes, so this is an initializer. What makes this possible is the this reference. The this reference allows me to initialize the values before going inside the body of this constructor. So I am initializing the worker with ID number of 101 and the salary of 8,000. So this is exactly what will happen. So it will go first and say employee 999 has been created, and then it will do that for us. And then when I run this right line, it will go to the object of the employee, and it will say employee 101 exists and the salary is that value. So this is very, very important that we understand. So which one runs first? This one runs second, and what you have inside here runs first. So it will first run, and when it runs, it has already initialized the salary with this value, and the ID number with this value and the salary with 0. But when you are here via a property, you are overriding 0 with a value of 99.99. There it is. So the statement in these curly braces will run first. There it is. And then once that statement has ran, it will go to the main, and then when it is on the main, it comes across this. Now when in the main, it will first do what? It will first initialize ID number with 101 and salary with 8,000. So when you create an object, the object already has a value of 101 and 1000. You have initialized the object with those two values, and then what it will do, it will just print that for us. So this is all what I wanted us to just understand, having a better way of understanding how exactly this reference works. So thank you very much for your time, and I will see you in the next tutorial.